Okay, so as we go along on this particular question, I'm going to ask you certain questions. Whenever I ask a question, I'll tell you to pause the video. So go ahead and pause, answer the question, and then you can start the video back up. All right, so the very first thing that we're going to do is we are going to read through the question. Lance has $160 in bills, in two types of bills, $5 bills and $10 bills. If he has 7 more 10s than 5s, how many of each bill does he have? All right, now, I want you to answer the following question. Look at the question, which starts with the word how, okay? Look at the question and ask yourself, what are my variables going to be based on the question that starts with the word how? What are my variables going to be? Another way to ask this question of yourself is, what am I looking for? Okay. So I want you to pause the video, ask yourself, what are my variables going to be based on the question? And the question starts with the word how. All right. Now, hopefully you've paused the video. You've answered that question. If you haven't, go ahead and pause, answer the question. But here, let's go ahead and answer that question. The question is, how many of each bill does he have? Well, I know he has $5 bills and I know he has $10 bills. We just want to know, how many bills does he have? Does he have 3 bills? Does he have 20 bills? How many bills does he have? So we have 2 different kinds of bills. So I'm going to say, you might have chosen different letters and that's fine. All right. But I'm going to say that F is going to represent the number of $5 bills. All right. Maybe he has 5 $5 bills, or maybe he has 25 $5 bills. I don't know, but that's one of the things that we want to know. And I'm going to use T. This is going to represent the number of $10 bills. Okay, so this is going to be the 2 variables that I'm using. Now remember, when you're using 2 variables, when we're trying to find 2 variables, we want to, we're going to have to use 2 different equations. Okay, now on my 2 equations, one of them is going to be the value equation. Literally, how much is my money worth? Okay. The other question is simply going to be, how many bills are in my hand? Okay, how many paper bills are laying in my hand? I don't care about their worth, but how many bills are in my hand? All right, so the first thing we're going to do, let's deal with the money concept. All right, so the money, I know that Lance has $160 in his pocket. So that means he has a total of $160. Okay, if it helps you to put a dollar symbol, that's fine. You don't have to here. And I'll walk you through why this could be a problem in a few minutes. Okay, but you can put that there just to remind yourself that this is money, the value of the money that we're talking about. All right. Now he has 2 different kinds of bills in his pocket. He's got $5 bills and he has $10 bills. And I want to know, when I add up all this money, I want to know how many $5 bills, how many $10 bills are going to make up that $160. Okay. So immediately, now these red markings are going to go away, but kind of let that sear in your mind. I'm looking for something plus something is equal to $160. Now, I'm not just going to say the number of bills is going to equal $160. It's not like 3 bills plus 9 bills is going to equal $160. I need to know the value of those bills. So for instance, let's say that you have 2 $5 bills. Okay. 2 $5 bills, each one is worth $5. So that's going to be like saying I have $5 times 2 bills. Remember, the F is my number of bills. In this case, my F would be 2. All right. Let's say that you have 9 $5 bills. Well, that's going to be $5. Whoops. $5 times 9 bills. where my F here is my number of $5 bills, my F is going to be 9. Okay, well, you don't know how many $5 bills you have, so that means that this is going to be $5 times whatever F is, and F is my number of $5 bills. All right, so this is going to be the first part of my equation here, my value equation. So we're going to have $5 times however many $5 bills I have. Now remember, you can put a dollar sign in here, but that could get confusing later, but you don't have to put a dollar sign here, okay? But at least in your mind, keep reminding yourself that that 5 is the value of a $5 bill. All right, so then for the same idea, we are going to be adding a number of $10 bills. We don't know how many $10 bills. Each one is worth $10 times however many there are. All right, so again, if I have 3 $10 bills, that's going to be $10 times 3, which is the number of bills. 3 there being my T value. Okay. All right, so that's my value equation. This is going to help me to know how much my money is worth. Now let's just talk about the number of bills. I don't care if it's $5 or $10. Let's just talk about the number of paper bills that are in my hand. All right, so the first thing that I want you, you're going to pause here in a moment to answer this question. If he has 7 more 10s than 5s, all right, now here's the question, and then you're going to pause. Which one does he have more of? Does he have more $5 bills or does he have more $10 bills? All right, pause the video. Okay, so hopefully you said that he has more $10 bills. He has 7 more 10s than 5s. All right, so if he has more 10s than 5s, all right, then what we're going to say is that the number of $10 bills is going to equal, let's see, what did he say? He has 7 more 10s than 5s. All right, so you got to take the number of 5s and add 7 to that. Now, if that doesn't make sense to you, if this is one that you would want to do it in a different way, then just pick a number, plug it in, and see if it makes sense. So, for instance, if I said, hey, my F is going to equal, I don't know, 20. Well, if I plug that in, that's going to be 20 plus 7, which is 27, is equal to my number of 10s. Does that show that I have 7 more 10s than 5s? And I do in that case. All right. So this is where you can always plug in a little number there just to make it make sense. All right. Now, the last thing I'm going to do, notice that I have a T equals. So let's take whatever T equals and let's substitute it for the T value here. All right, so this is going to be here. I'm for sure not going to use dollar signs. I will deal with those later. All right, so I have F, 5 times F plus 10 times T, but I'm not going to use T. I'm going to use what T equals is equal to 160. Okay, and this is what you're going to solve. Now, when you solve it, you're going to figure out what F equals. Okay, you're going to have a number here, and that's going to tell you what F equals. But since the question says how many of each bill does he have, once you know what your F is, whatever that is, then you're going to want to come back up here and figure out, okay, if I know what F is, I need to add 7 to it to get my T value. Hopefully that helps. Let me know.